Excellence in real estate isn't a one-time achievement. It's not just that one big listing or your best month ever. It's a lifestyle. Excellence is built on the quiet choices you make every single day when no one is watching. That's what separates the top producers from everyone else. In this video, I want to teach you exactly how to develop those habits to build a predictable, profitable, and a referral-based business through daily excellence. I'll walk you through how to implement this mindset and these 8 habits. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss a tip to help you build a referral-based real estate business that's both predictable and profitable. Most agents think success comes from luck, a big sphere, a natural talent. But the reality, the agents who consistently close deals, generate referrals, and dominate their market are the ones who make excellence a way of life. Excellence isn't built in a day, it's built in the little things, the early mornings, the follow-ups others skip, the handwritten notes, the discipline to show up even when you don't feel like it. I'll never forget Sarah, one of my past coaching clients. When she joined the program, she was discouraged, stuck at 3 or 4 deals a year, and convinced she just wasn't cut out for the business. She'd say, maybe I'm just not one of those lucky ones. But she decided to stop waiting on luck and started showing up every day. She did the little things, the ones most agents overlook. She made her calls every morning, even when no one answered. She wrote handwritten thank you notes to everyone she met at an open house. She followed up with her sphere every single week to stay top of mind. Nothing fancy, no magic. About 6 months later, she called me nearly in tears. She just closed her 12th deal of the year with 2 more referrals already lined up. She said, I had no idea how much those little habits would add up. That's the thing about excellence. It's not about being the most talented or the luckiest agent in the room. It's about showing up and doing the work every single day. In the real estate roadmap, we start by building the mindset of a producer, because when you raise your standards, everything else falls into place. Next, let's talk about mastering your morning. If you win your morning, you win your day. That's why one of the very first things I teach in the roadmap is how to build a morning routine that works. One that gets your body moving, clears your head, and puts your focus where it should be, on income-producing activities. Don't hit snooze, don't wake up and start reacting to everything around you, and don't sit there scrolling your phone. Start your day on your terms. Even just 10 intentional minutes of planning in the morning can completely change how you show up the rest of the day. Let me share 3 simple things you can start doing tomorrow morning to take control of your day. First, move your body. Even if it's just a quick walk around the block, energy creates energy. Second, take 5 minutes to write down your top 3 priorities for the day. Not 20, just 3. And third, tackle one revenue-producing activity first before you check emails or social media. Here's what I've seen over and over. The top agents don't sit around waiting to feel motivated. They train themselves to take action, regardless of their initial thoughts. Next up, control your focus. Your attention is your most valuable resource. Every little distraction, an email here, a text there, pulls you further away from what matters. I teach agents how to design their perfect week so they always know exactly what to do to move their business, personal life, family, and spiritual growth forward. It starts with blocking time for the deep work, the things that actually move the needle. For example, if your personal goal is to get healthier, you schedule time to work out. If your business goal is to clean up your database and generate more referrals, you block time to make calls and ask the magic question. If your goal is to find peace, you set aside time to meditate, read, say affirmations, or get spiritually grounded. And if you want to strengthen your relationships with your spouse or kids, you make sure there's time in your calendar just for them. You have to say no to what doesn't matter so that you can say yes to what does. Next, discipline versus motivation. Most agents rely on motivation, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. The agents who build 6- and 7-figure businesses don't depend on feeling motivated. They depend on discipline. That's what I teach, how to eliminate the mental debate by setting clear non-negotiables. Decide who you are and let your actions line up with that identity. Non-negotiables are the daily promises you keep to yourself no matter what. Things like blocking time to make your prospecting calls, even if you don't feel like it. Scheduling your workouts because you've decided your health matters. Making time to connect with your spouse and kids because family comes first. Starting your day with prayer, affirmations, or reflection to stay grounded. Discipline is like a muscle. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, it gets stronger, and so do you. Consistency beats intensity every time. You don't build a reputation or a referral-based business with one good week. You build it by showing up every day, even when you're tired, even when the phone isn't ringing. I help agents just like you create systems and schedules that make consistency automatic, so you never let a day, a lead, or a client slip through the cracks. Years ago, I had a coaching client named Mike. His story has stuck with me ever since. When we first talked, Mike told me, "I've tried everything. Mailers, open houses, cold calls, nothing sticks." The problem wasn't that he didn't work hard. It was that he'd go all in for a week or two, burn himself out, and then disappear for a month. Clients and prospects didn't know what to expect from him, so he never built any momentum. I challenged him to stop chasing big weeks and start building small, consistent habits instead. Just 10 calls a day, 1 handwritten note per client, 1 hour of follow-up blocked in his calendar, every single day. No excuses. At first, he was frustrated because nothing seemed to change overnight. But about 90 days in, he called me and said, "I don't know what happened, but the phone's ringing more than ever. People are calling me saying, 'Hey, you've stayed in touch all year, and now I'm ready to sell.'" By the end of the year, Mike doubled his business, not because of one massive week of effort, but because he kept showing up consistently, day after day, even when it felt like nothing was happening. That's the power of consistency. It always beats intensity, every time. Here's the truth. You don't get the business you want. You get the business you tolerate. So here's our next habit. Raise your standards. When you set higher standards for yourself in your follow-up, marketing, and professionalism, the market takes notice. Inside the roadmap, I challenge you to raise your standards and surround yourself with others who operate at a higher level. Excellence is contagious. I work with one agent named Lisa, and her story drives this home. When I met Lisa, she was stuck in a rut. She was taking on every client who called her, no matter how unrealistic, disrespectful, or unmotivated they were. She'd tolerate buyers who stood her up for showings. She'd tolerate sellers who wouldn't listen to her pricing advice. She was working herself into the ground and still barely scraping by. One day, I asked her, "If this is the kind of business you're tolerating, what kind of business do you think you're going to attract?" That hit her hard. So she decided to raise her standards. She stopped working with clients who wouldn't sign a buyer's agreement. She began attending listing appointments with a polished presentation and a straightforward process. She stopped saying yes to every distraction and started saying yes to her schedule and her priorities. And the market noticed. Within a few months, she was getting more referrals, not just because she was working harder, but because she was operating at a higher level. People respected her time and her expertise because she respected it first. That's what high standards look like. Stop tolerating no-shows. Stop tolerating disrespectful clients. Stop tolerating sloppy marketing, missed follow-up, and disorganized schedules. Because you don't get the business you want, you get the business you tolerate. And when you raise your standards, the market rises to meet you. The next habit is decisive action creates momentum. I remember working with an agent named Jen. She'd been in the business for a couple of years, but couldn't seem to get any real traction. Every time we talked, she'd say things like, I just need to figure out which farm area is best, or I want to practice my scripts a little more before I start calling. I finally told her, Jen, the perfect plan you never execute isn't worth anything. Just pick something and go. So she did. She picked a neighborhood she kind of liked. It wasn't perfect, and she started mailing and knocking on doors that same week. Were her scripts polished? Not even close. But she showed up, imperfect, but consistent. Within 2 months, she got her first listing in that area. And that one listing turned into 2 more because of the buzz it created. Jen told me later, if I'd waited for everything to feel perfect, I'd still be waiting. Action beats hesitation every time. One simple tip you can use is what I call the 5-second rule. When you feel yourself starting to hesitate, counting reasons not to do something, just count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Make the call, knock on the door, send the email, whatever it is, stop overthinking and just go. Because every great career is built one small, imperfect decision at a time. This business will test you, so you have to learn the next habit of building mental toughness. You're going to lose listings you thought you had locked up. You're going to have months where nothing seems to go right. I recall being in the middle of a 13-week space training program early in my career, which was really pushing me out of my comfort zone. I was finally starting to go on appointments, and honestly, I thought I was doing everything right. But I lost 3 listing appointments in a row, all to other agents. One client even told me, "You're just too new. We need someone more experienced." That stung. I remember thinking maybe this business isn't for me. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I kept showing up every single day. I kept following the program, making my calls, knocking on doors, holding open houses, even when it felt like no one cared and nothing was working. A few months later, one of those same clients actually called me back. They said, "We've seen how persistent you are. We want you to list our home now." That one deal led to another, and before long, I had built a steady referral-based business. That whole experience taught me something important. Excellence isn't just about what you do when things are going well. It's about who you become when things aren't. If you want to succeed at a high level in this business, you've got to raise your standards, keep showing up, and keep doing the work, even when nobody's clapping for you yet. You don't become great by doing it once in a while. You become great by doing it every day. Excellence is who you become, not something you do once in a while. It's a choice you make every day to operate at a higher level and hold yourself to a higher standard. So, if you're ready to take your business to the next level, raise your standards, and build a predictable, profitable, referral-based business, I'd love to help you get there. Click the link in the description to schedule a call with me. Let's talk about where you are, where you want to go, and how we can get you there together. I look forward to speaking with you soon.